W. H. Smith, 1979. Distribution systems and policies. First of all, the choice of marketing channels as decided by the marketing director. Now here we have 4 different companies with 4 different marketing channels: Kellogg's cereal, Lego toys, Ferrari cars, and GKN nuts and bolts. From choice of marketing channels come the choice of the physical distribution channels as chosen by the logistics director. And part of the choice of physical distribution channels are the physical distribution channel structures. 2 parts: inventory management and transport management. Under inventory management you have systems for inventory replenishment and forecasting, and the location and type of warehouses. Under transport management you have choice of mode: road, rail, ship or air. Routing policies being bulk shipments, consolidation shipments or multi-drop shipments. And both in the location and type of warehouses and the choice of mode there is the possibility of using third-party contractors. Here we have W. H. Smith Retail Distribution System 1979. You have a managing director, and under him is a purchasing director, distribution director and a retail director. And working for the distribution director you've got an inventory manager and an operations manager. The distribution director decides on the number, location and hence size of the warehouses to meet customer service levels at minimum overall total distribution cost. Similarly, to meet these desired minimum cost customer service levels, he coordinates the related activities of the inventory manager and the operations manager. This responsibility makes him the most suitable person to decide upon the distribution channel to be used. The distribution director is also responsible for the development of business information systems throughout the retail group. Distribution coverage. 319 W. H. Smith's shops and 89 bookstalls are located throughout England, Wales and Scotland. It must be said that even so, W. H. Smith are mainly a South East of England company. The distribution division has large warehouses at Swindon and Dunstable, which between them stock some 31,000 lines or SKUs to meet approximately 60% of the volume demand. At this time in 1979, 40% of the volume demand is still being met by producers doing their own deliveries directly into shops. Assuming a maximum operating radius of 200 km in a working day, then the area which could be covered is as shown. The above assumes that the delivery trucks return to their base warehouse at the end of each working day. The operations manager controls the efficient running of the warehouses, transport and engineering. He also negotiates the timing and cost of any contracted third-party storage or transport capacity. This is to achieve a scheduled time-phase trade-off between available storage capacity and requirements and transport capacity and requirements to get the right things at the right place at minimum transport and storage costs. The inventory manager is responsible for total stock levels and thus stock holding costs within the logistics system. He has to organise the movement of stock such that appropriate levels of customer service level are met at the minimum total distribution cost. The purchasing director is in charge of the purchasing function. However, the buyers working for the purchasing director only place the initial purchasing contracts. The quantity and timing of the actual deliveries is decided under the policy guidance of the inventory manager. The actual replenishment deliveries are authorised by the merchandisers working for the inventory manager. The inventory manager is greatly aided in this task by a suite of computer programs. So here we have a reorder point level. Such systems include reorder point systems with the review levels, these being used at warehouse level. This is before EPOS has even been dreamt of. These reorder point systems can then advise on the placement of replenishment deliveries by the merchandisers. It would be impossible for the inventory manager to manually manage 30,000 lines, so there has to be a computer system to help him do this. Reorder point is calculated expected demand, average demand times the lead time, and safety stock n times sigma of cover times average demand times the square root of lead time, where lead time equals production plus order processing plus transportation. What happens is stock drops until it goes through the reorder point level, and then the reorder point system authorises a replenishment batch size, which is then done by the merchandisers. Other systems. There's a budgeting system to determine the overall rate of supply to a branch. This is done by branch and group of merchandise. There are A, B, and C lines. That is, the A lines are the top 1% of sellers accounting for 30% of the volume. The C lines are 85% of lines only accounting for 20% of the volume, and the B lines lie in between, i.e. 14% by number, 50% by volume. There's a central allocation system for high value goods. A lines, the top 1%, are partly controlled by a centrally controlled top seller system. This looks after about 80 lines. B lines are mainly stationery, toys and games. And C lines are mainly books. SABRE stands for Sales Activated Book Reordering, which is similar to a one-bin Kanban. Notes on W.H. Smith. There's a cash flow stock planning to budgeted plan control system. Organisational structure and key job functions. ABC Pareto based stratified goods control system covering the top sellers, the slow movers and the high value goods. There's a mixture of reorder point and review stock control systems with central computer based aggregate rate of change of sale monitoring system, which allows management by exception. This allows the inventory manager to have triggers flagged up to him to see what's going to go out of stock and whether there's been a change in the rate of sale of stock. This is linked to cash flow budgeting. It's a historical snapshot and move from producer multi-drop to own account centralised distribution strategy. There are systems to measure and monitor overstocking tendencies of branch managers. And finally, here we have the total cost build-up used in logistic management. On the x-axis we have number of warehouses, and on the y-axis we have costs. As you have more warehouses, the trunking costs go up. As you have more warehouses, the stock holding costs, because there needs to be a safety stock in each additional warehouse, goes up. Obviously the storage building costs go up because you've got more warehouses, but because the warehouses are closer to the shops, the local delivery costs goes down. And finally, because you have more computer systems and not the economy of scale of a centralised system, order processing costs go up. And that's the total cost build-up used in logistics management. This has just been a snapshot of the job roles in W.H. Smith in 1979. Here are the job roles for Boots the Chemist in this year. Central functions: supply teams, merchandising and marketing, appraise suppliers, place orders and control the level of stock throughout the rest of the chain, and work closely with marketing to coordinate promotions. Central operations: logistics, receive and put away deliveries, manage the 32,000 central SKUs and manage the 5 central warehouses. Coordinate central trunking to RDCs. IT involved includes bespoke real-time stock control system and the warehouse management system. And the bespoke real-time stock control system works on reorder point. A useful reference for logistics management is Insights from Industry. Is there any magic in cross-docking? By Ewan Kinnear, 1997. Now, of Boots' parts, doing a Pareto analysis, of the 35,000 active SKUs, 2,400 SKUs are transshipped, or less than 7% of the total number. Hence, more than 32,600 of the SKUs are bulk stored in the central 5 warehouses because they are relatively slow moving. Boots have a very long tail of slow moving stock keeping units. Less than 7% of the SKUs are at 40% of the total volume shipped, yet only require 5% of the order lines. Or logically, 93% of the SKUs require 95% of the order lines, which form 56% of the total volume. These 32,600 lines, the 93%, as cross-docked through an RDC on the way to the store.